what was I gonna write? I was gonna say the true meaning of Igwe is not to in the Baekenemunu. I'm just early, sorry, but I wanted to write my title. The true meaning of Igwe is not to oh yeah, these days. The word is to like take advantage of people or whatever, but is so when somebody, maybe those the people who are watching can give me a word. I don't know, there's like 2 people online right now. So I wanted to say the true meaning of Igwe is not to there's something that like, you know, exploits, yes. Exploit your brothers and sisters. That's what I'm going to use as my title. And I'll put that there. Okay, ndị ba ekenemunu ekenemunu. Aha m bụ Udochi Okeke. I am nwanne gị nwanyị Udochi Okeke. So I wanted to come on today. Actually, asim kambia gwa unu oku monso. So I woke up this morning, right, and I told myself that I will be, you know, I will just take it easy. You know, last night I was talking to Ocha TK, and asemia na I'll start being more like just trying to be more relaxed. Nihina, like in the past, I was very, very kind of anxious, like always feeling like I have to do something, you know. So that's why ihem neme kita oku monso, because that's why ihem neme kita oku monso, because out of the relaxation, inspiration came. You know, it's like sometimes it's not by might, it's not by force. Like it is something that will just come to you when it's supposed to come to you. Now, this is not something that came from magic. I saw this post from Mazi Obonaya. Mazi Odeka Ahayabu Mark Aha Mbo, yeah, Bo Mark Obonaya. Mana I'm not sure. I think his name is Mark. There's things that I've heard in other places. And it just came together so perfectly that I said, on this broadcast today now. So wait 1 second. Let me just are you people hearing me? This broadcast? Yeah, you're hearing me. Okay. Am I okay? Wait 1 second. Let me just sorry. I'm sharing this video to a group, and then I have to press pause for 1 second because I need to plug in my laptop so that my laptop will not, so that ekwensu nke power company or power, you know, ekwensu nke this one will not interrupt my flow. So give me 1 second while I pause. Okay, I'm back. So, so my hope, my goal for this video is that by the end of this video, you will be convinced that, number one, there's nothing wrong with you. that your agwo is not against you. If you understand what I'm saying, and that's what you may have believed about why you have been unsuccessful, or you haven't achieved certain things, or you haven't gotten to where you want to get to, because some of you even went to university, ever went as far as to go to university and flunked out, and or even you went as far as university and finished. Maybe you had a difficult time in university, you finished it, then you came out and you still couldn't find a job. Or you even found a job, but they fired you, or you've been fired 5 times and you don't know like what's going on. Is my agwo, is it giving me bad instructions, or whatever the case may be? And so that's the first goal of this video. The first goal of this video is to convince you that there's nothing wrong with you, that your agwo is not against you and keeping you from success, or nobody somewhere is keeping you from success. That's not the case. That's number one. The number 2 goal of this video is to teach that there's nothing wrong also with Igbo people. There's nothing wrong with Igbo people in general, whether you choose to be Igbo by by way of church, whether you choose to be Igbo by way of church, Jesus, or Igbo by way of Arwano, or Igbo by way of anything else, Jew. There's nothing wrong with you. Igbo Bibu, Igbo Bibu. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. And there's nothing wrong with nothing wrong with you, but there's nothing wrong with, nothing wrong with you, because I don't know what is wrong with you, which way you swing. It's not, that's not even, my point is that is not the issue. The issue is not what you believe. The issue is not what you believe. The point is, there's nothing wrong with Igbo people, the whole community as a whole, IGWE, the whole, Igbo population. It's not about you as an individual. It's not my concern. But Igbo, there's nothing wrong with us. That's the second thing. That's my second point that I'm going to try to make clear by what I'm going to say in this video. So the first one is there's nothing wrong with you, that your agwo is not against you, that nobody is somewhere, like even if somebody is plotting against you, there's nothing holding you back in terms of like, it's not your fault. 2, there's nothing wrong with Igbos, like people who like to start everything they do with the problem with our people is I want to silence those ones. There's nothing wrong with us. And the third thing I'm going to play is that there's only 3 things that is needed to accomplish everything that you want to achieve in this life. Only 3 things. 1, I'm going to tell you them now, and then I'll coagulate. 1, atomato. 2, usoro. 3, igwebike. That's it. Atomato, usoro, igwebike. And by saying that, I'm not trying to say, and I'll say it in English for people like me. Atomato is that seed, that spark, that plan, that vision. That's, this is where we're going. That's atomato. Usoro is just the plan, the order. Otu maruweriki, uso maruweriki so I rue ebe njedebe atomato, right? So that is usoro, just the plan of how you're going to get there. Then igwebike, you need strength in numbers. You need the people. Mana, is that igwebike that's the most important part that I'm going to talk about today, because we are so confused, because we know that igwebike, mana, we don't really know how to implement, how to, like, we are so confused about transformation as a people. All that our people find it so difficult to coagulate science and technology in Asụsụ Igbo, because we have become so far removed from our origins that we forgot how to even explain how something gets from point A to point B. So we don't know how to transmutate the the potential energy of Igwe into the kinetic energy of Ikwe Naro Putinhe. We don't know how to the transformation from Igwe like that, just raw potential energy, to people actually doing some work that is meaningful work that is going to make things happen. We have completely lost the connection. And the reason we've lost the connection is because Indamomoga have confused our people so much about the connection between how to get from point A to point B. They have confused the map. They have changed the symbols on the map. They have changed the roads. They have blocked the roads. They have confused the roads so that the process from point A to point B is so like mixed in coded language and mystery that before a person will finish thinking about how to get from point A to point B, that's the thing they're getting to, agafela, like, is gone. Their opportunity is gone. Before you go to a school to understand SWOT analysis, by the time you finish understanding and learning how to pronounce SWOT analysis, your opportunity is gone. What you're trying to accomplish, that thing that you said that was going to be used, you were going to use to make money, has gone. That investment that you were going to make has tanked. That situation that you thought that was going to be your opportunity is gone. Those people that you said you were going to do a deal with, and that you were going to just get all these people together, let them all come together so that we can agree and do this thing, they've moved on to something else because you were busy trying to learn and understand what SWOT analysis and EBITDA and all these different things is. And I'm not trying to tell you that education is not good or education is not important, or that you shouldn't try to learn certain things. But I'm trying to explain to you the difference between what I'm trying to explain to you, why getting from a point A to point B is not supposed to be that difficult. But there are people who are invested in confusing our brothers and sisters, in exploiting our brothers and sisters, in taking advantage of our brothers and sisters, that have now made it to seem as though it is more confusing than it actually is. There are people who are invested and who are committed to exploiting our brothers and sisters, who have gone out of their way to make sure that it is more confusing than it needs to be. So let me show you exactly what I mean. So to this morning, let me use this one. This morning, this morning, I happened to come across this post, several posts actually, from Mazi Mark Obonaya. I happened to come across several posts first on Twitter, then on Facebook, from Mazi Mark Obonaya. Let me just say that Mazi Mark Obonaya is a very, very intelligent person. He is somebody who has chosen Igbo. And when I say chosen Igbo, Igbo is a choice. Everybody knows that. Akonoma. Igbo is a choice. Not everybody has to learn Igbo, but some of us, the noble, the peace, the light bearers, are choosing Igbo. There's many things, many options out there, but some of us have chosen Igbo. Makai Marana. In tomorrow we will be the ancestors. Angabo Ndi Ichie, and the future is those people who have chosen other things. You know, who knows where they will. What will be said of them, you know? So he's somebody who has chosen Igbo through and through. And, you know, he posts a lot about Igbo culture, his own studies. I mean, this guy has tells his story all the time. If you go on his Twitter or his Facebook, he will tell you exactly where he's been and where what he has gone through for the sake of Igbo, educationally, as well as academically, as well as in life, and all the books he's written. This man has written books on books on books. Like, he's a real scholar. And the only thing that kind of, I think, has kept me from really connecting in some ways is because in my own mind, I feel like I have to come bearing gifts when I approach such people. And so it has stopped me from approaching people to collaborate, because I feel like what I have is not enough to collaborate with certain people. And I don't want to get to the point of confusing matters, confusing my relationship with people. So I just stay silent and don't approach certain people, so as not to spoil what could potentially be a better collaboration in the future. So I just say that to just say, with all due respect, Mazi Marco Bonaya is very, very somebody that is very, very wise in Ihoneme. Now, even as you can see, as I'm even talking to you, the retweets are going up on his post. So in his post, it says, "This is picture of Igbo people building a house collectively for one another for free. In the olden days, life was so easy. The Igbo lived communal life. When a man gets to the age of Ipo Obi, his age grade would contribute in building house for him for free. He will also do so to others." And then he goes on and on. In fact, he posted another one in Facebook. Kamchota that specific post that he posted on Facebook, because I even reposted that one on Facebook. I retweeted all his tweets on Twitter, Sha, and I also posted the one that he did on this thing on Facebook. So let me. Why is this thing not? Okay, let me just go to. Let me just change the screen I'm on so that you can see. Let's do this. 1 second. Let me share this other screen with you. Okay, Facebook. Okay. Okay, this one is smaller, but it has the same pictures. If you look, you see he has similar pictures. This one is about an ubi, like farming. So this one, it says he posted this one. It says Otoro. This is age grade system where the Igbo work is in each other's farm to produce food. You don't need to pay farmers to work on your farm. The friends would come and jointly work. They will even contribute food too. This cultural practice started from our ancestors. I did it too. How? He's talking about himself. He did it. As a teenager, I joined in an organization group of youths whose aims were to assist their parents by cultivating their farms. We were 7 in number. Others grouped themselves as well. Each person would bring 2 cups of rice. The person whose turn we're working for will bring 4 cups. He would bring beans and other condiments used to prepare it. His mothers or sisters would cook. The maximum mound we make is 50. Now 50 times 7 equals 350 mounds. That is enough to take care of the family next season. Throughout the year, this happened every Saturday. It'll get to everyone. Then we start from the beginning again. Through this means, each family had enough food without paying the laborers. I did it. It's not even an issue of olden days. People are still doing it today in various Igbo communities. IGWE love leads. Oh, this picture is small. I thought this would be bigger. Okay, so this is just a picture of people farming together. And the point of this is that, these young able-bodied people, which it doesn't have to be young and able-bodied, because there are so many ways that this particular way of doing things can be applied. There's so many ways that this particular way of doing things can be applied. And when I say atomato, usoro, and ikwebike, that those are the only 3 things you need. You don't need a long history book, a whole list of different ways in which people um in which people in ways for people to work together. You don't need a you don't need a you don't need a million different theories. You don't need a million different communication styles. You don't need all these things in order for people to do things. The problem is that right now, many of us, it's just one person. They'll say, okay, I'm doing this thing. But the thing about it is, I'm doing this thing and I need bodies, I need workers, I need somebody to work. And then we'll find that one person who works hard and we will slave drive that person until that person runs away and doesn't want to help or work for us again. And not only that, but we won't even pay that person on top of that, or we will pay that person poorly for even all the hard work that they've put in. And that person will run away because not only are they're not being treated fairly. It's not even not only they're not being treated fairly. They're not having fun. They're not free. As in you put them in a situation where they can't come and go as they please. These people are volunteers. Can you imagine? These people are volunteers. It's the same system that is currently building Wikipedia. This is the same system that is currently building Wikipedia and many other websites that go based on what do they call it? Now Igbo people have taken up the same concept and they're using it in crowdfunding, crowdsourcing. This is crowdfunding. This is crowdsourcing. Igbo people used to have banks. Also, they used to use banks in the same way. You know, they'll have a collective pot. Everybody will like every month will put something in the same pot every month. Now, let me tell you the difference between what our ancestors were doing and the good way that they did it and the way people are doing it today and then making an unknown enemy of each other. Back then, everybody has their own thing that they're doing. Everybody has their own specialization. Nobody is trying to own you. Nobody is trying to own anybody. Nobody's exploiting themselves. It is just that when I say automato, first of all, there's so many automato. IGWE, like the universal intelligence, IGWE, there are so many ideas in the world, thought less of in the Igbo community, which is over 40 million people. There's so many ideas out there, so many people with ideas. In fact, right now, there are so many individual Igbo people with ideas in the Igbo community, like in the Igbo communities that I've met online. I've seen so many different Igbo people with ideas and with a group that's, okay, see, we all have this idea. We each individually on my own have this idea for something that I want to accomplish, but I don't know who to go to or how to accomplish it or what to do. There are too many of us running around. One person has an idea for an Igbo dictionary. One person has an idea for an Igbo TV show. One person has an idea for an Igbo broadcasting network. One person has an idea, not knowing that if all of us were able to do that idea, the Igbo land would transform in under 10 years. If all of us just had the what we needed to do our idea, my idea will help your idea will help his idea will help his idea. Igbo land will be transformed in less than under 10 years. But unfortunately, each of us is working by ourselves, alone, just working, trying to make ends meet. Trying to make it, but end cannot meet because in order for end to meet, there has to be another end that it meets. But we're working alone. No, why? Now, if one wanted to do something like this in this day and age, it is not a process of let me take you from what you were doing and now enslave you into what I am trying to do so that only my thing will accomplish, but your thing, I'm not. No. That's why people had trade by barter back then. Instead, a person who is going to ask somebody, please, let me see how I can help you. They should also ask, how can I too help you? Just like in the Igbo apprenticeship program, like let me, this is what I think you can do for me. Now, in exchange, here's what I will do for you. Just that's why in the Igbo apprenticeship program, part of in ancient times, the Igbo apprenticeship program is you will work for me for this period of time. During this time, in exchange for the value you are adding to my business, that's on Nerahia, like that person, that Odogu that has taken in this apprentice. In exchange for the value you are adding to my company for 3 years or so, I will not only take care of your living needs for the meantime, not in excess, but just enough that you're comfortable. Then after all the work that you've done for me for these 3 years or however long the agreement is, I will send you off with so much that you will be able to start your own. So I may send you off with several million naira and the keys to a car, so that anything you want to go and do, you now have not only the knowledge, but the fuel in terms of cash and some properties that you can use to start something yourself. This is what IGWE was how IGWE was used by our ancestors. This is not exploitation of your brothers and sisters. But so many people who have been so educated by the Westerners, yes, I'm going to say it blatantly, despite the fact that I'm already afraid that people will watch this and now say, oh, this girl has become a communist, or this is not even anything like communism or socialism. This is actually a better form of capitalism than anything that people are uselessly talking about now, because they don't have any context to even talk about what they're talking about. This is not you know, a pop culture capitalism or pop culture communism or pop culture socialism. This is actual evidence-based, based on the fact that our ancestors did it successfully and built a civilization, which is why we were one of Britain and the colonizers' most formidable foes in those days. We were one of their most formidable foes in those days. Until today, we're still some of the world's most formidable foes in terms of trying to bring the world back to sanity. Trying to bring the world back to sanity, because there are mad people running around right now trying to confuse, that are not even trying, confusing people and destroying our communities on a daily basis. And then they'll come back and tell us that we are the ones that are greedy, that the village people are too greedy, that they need to learn how to have a marketing plan, and they need to learn how to, like, dude, what's the point of a marketing plan if you don't even have manpower, you don't even have food to eat, you don't even have, like, what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So this is the true IGWE. This is the true IGWE, and it only takes 3 things. Atomato. And by atomato, I don't only mean your plan, your little itty bitty plan that you think is good. No, I'm talking about the universal intelligence, that atomato, which comes from IGWE, that comes from the universal intelligence, that atomato, which comes from IGWE, the universal intelligence that seeks the good of all people, that seeks the good of the community, that seeks the good of all Igbos, that seeks the good of Owanile. That is the universal intelligence. IGWE. That's where the atomato will first come from. And so if your plan, if what you're doing, and somebody will know if what you're doing is not coming from IGWE. Because when you start telling that person, this is what I want you to do for them, immediately their spirit will be like, this person is not trustworthy. Immediately that person will immediately feel it. This person is not trustworthy. Why? Because the thing you're saying is now exploiting people, is exploiting people, is exploiting them first. The person you're talking to self, you will be confessing that you're exploiting them to them. You'll go to them and tell them, I want to exploit you. And you won't even know that you're saying it. Because you'll be saying, oh, come and do this for me. I'm not going to pay you. I'm not going to do anything for you in the future. I won't contribute to your own plan. I don't care what your interests are. I just want you to do something for me. By the end of the conversation, they're like, this person, I'm not coming to help you at all. So the best thing for you to do is, like, it has to come from, when I say Ago, the universal intelligence that seeks the good of all, that seeks the good of, all of God's creation, and your community and everything. The first thing is the good of the person standing right in front of you. And when that person comes to, when you go to that person, you see that person doing good, you come to them and say, see, I see what you're doing, and I've seen you do it well. I was hoping that this piece of your talent, that, there is tomato. Like, I have this plan, right? This plan of something that I want to do. I want to make a generator company that sells generators or something like that. And in exchange for, this thing that I've seen that you do well, let me come and advertise my generator company on your platform because you have many viewers. Let me come and exchange my generator company on your platform. And in exchange, I will give you one free generator. Something like that. You know what I mean? Or, I'm trying to start a group of people who will go through Igbo land and do this thing. All this is what I have. Let me go and partner with this other person who has all these other things. And we can exchange something of value that I have that you need for something of value that you need that I have. These types of things this is not crazy. This is not impossible. Do you understand what I'm saying? But people will sit there and crack their brain trying to solve for X. Trying to solve for X in this world. Meanwhile, they are hungry. Meanwhile, they have no money. Meanwhile, they have no home. Meanwhile, they haven't built a house yet. They're still living on somebody's couch. Meanwhile, and it's like this, this is, our people have yet to unite because of this very reason, because everybody is on their own trying to solve for X. And even those people who almost have it right, please hear what I'm saying. In fact, let me take this thing off the screen so that you can hear what I'm saying. So that you, those people who almost have it right, because there are many of us who almost have it right, but who will say IGWE, and as we're saying IGWE, we're still exploiting our brothers and sisters instead of creating an environment where people are working with each other, bringing and contributing. That's what I'm trying to say. There's nothing wrong with Igbo people. Even those people who almost have it right, there's nothing wrong with them because they almost have it right. But that virus that is being passed around in the world, being dropped into people's brains like seeds and confusing them to think that their brother is their competition and not the person that they're supposed to be collaborating with. That virus that I learned about from Ndozi Odnani, that thinks that their brother is their competition instead of their support system, instead of the thing that can help them in the future one day. Or even now, today. Not even one day, today. That's virus that makes somebody to not hear advice when it is given to them. That is the problem. That is the thing that is keeping us from moving forward. Because there are people who will see what I'm saying today and now say, oh, this girl is preaching socialism. This girl is preaching communism. Are you mad? Is this not the same capitalism that is talking about Bitcoin now? Decentralization of networks. Is this not the same capitalism that is screaming about Bitcoin? But the reason why they now jump to communism and socialism is because they only listen to white people. And it is the whites that came up with that socialism and communism. They probably saw Igbo people and African people living together in harmony, and decided that they were going to coaxiate and explain behind them in the blacks. They decided they were going to write an equation for what they saw in Africa, and they came up with the word socialism and communism, and then they tried to do it, and they created dictators. They created dictatorship, and now Africa is mimicking dictatorships. But that is not what we were doing, because those people did not do it with IGWE in mind, with Chi, with all these other concepts that are part of the Igbo framework in mind. They didn't understand what we were doing. They tried to put a math equation to it, and they said, okay, this person profits, they share everything, the people do, and at the end of it all, everybody is going to, and they created Stalin, or whatever his name is, Stalin, that man. Or they created Hugo Chavez, or they created whoever else. I don't even know the people in the Communist Party, because I don't really even follow politics that way. I don't know, and I don't care, because all politics and history is people's stories, people telling you a story and explaining to you in a way that is just like religion, storybook. So those people saw behind them the way we were doing things, and they said, no, these Africans, they have it right, and you people are enslaving people. Let's do what the Africans are doing. So they went and wrote a math equation, and they said, oh, let's call this thing that we came with socialism or communism. And people forgot that IGWE, and they started quoting these people. This is what we should do, blah, 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 blah. Before you know it, somebody has now become a dictator. This is what is destroying our people. This is what is destroying our people mercilessly, shamelessly. You know, and okay. So I just want to give that little, thing, because people will come and telling me that I'm preaching socialism or communism. That's, this is the age of capitalism. Everybody should be free. Yes, people are free if they, these decentralized, because when we say Igbo, people will now start quoting textbooks. Igbo had several autonomous communities. What is autonomous but decentralized? Decentralization of power, decentralized. And what is decentralized? Blockchain, Bitcoin is the same. All of these things are the same concepts that are being replicated out throughout history. But because somebody has put an English word on them, people forget the origins. People forget the truth. People forget that we do it without even thinking, because Igbo people have the program already in their brain. If they were raised properly, if they understand, if they were raised properly by people who knew their history and who are trying to explain to them, like, this is how we do things in our community. There are people in our community with brilliant ideas that will change the world. But because we have seen each other as our competition, we are afraid that if this person becomes big, they may punish me. If this person becomes successful, they may attack me. If this person becomes big, they will be better than me. So even if we have something that can help that person, we won't help that person. Not only will we not help that person, we won't go to that person straight and say, hey, I want to help you, and I want to help you in this way. In exchange, I need this from you. Stupidly, because you don't know that person's only options are either to say yes or no. If the person says no, what have you lost? Nothing, because you didn't have anything in the first place. Go and ask that person and tell them what they want in exchange. If they want to give you, they should give you. If they don't want to give you, they should say, no, I can't give that, but maybe I can give this, or no, not at all. I can't do that because I don't support what you're doing, or I don't feel like I have the capacity to do what you want me to do for you. But we want to make it so freaking complicated. I'm sorry, this thing is pissing me off right now because I've seen it happen over and over and over and over again in the Igbo community. I've been in Igbo communities in this on the online since like 2017 or so. I've been on Igbo communities online. I've gone to the Igbo meetings. I've seen how these people, what has been ruining our people over and over again in different places. I've seen it. I've seen things fall apart and crumble. When it's as simple as ask yes or no, move forward. If you want steps, if you want me to give you a formula, an equation, ask yes or no, move forward. 3 steps. That's it. But we want to make things so freaking complicated. Even after people are this Mark Obonaya's post that has gone viral. Let me show you know what I'm talking about. This Mark Obonaya's post, you can even see now it has 247 shares, 974 likes. Even the one that I was showing you before on Twitter has maybe it's reached 1,000. Yes, it's reached over almost 2,000 likes on Twitter. This thing that is going viral about Igbos working. After now, Onyamumoga is going to start putting in seeds of ideas about communism and socialism for these people. And then Angabo in the atomic bomb, in the America, in the White House. After now, Indamumoga are going to put in the seed of socialism and communism into this viral post, and we will become the enemies of the powers that be. But I'm telling you now, beyond the shadow of a doubt, in plain English, so that nobody can misunderstand me, that this is actually the greatest form of capitalism, the greatest form of IGWE for ourselves that can ever be done on this planet Earth. That the world that we are living in right now, that criminalizes blackness on a daily basis. The world that we're living in right now that criminalizes blackness on a daily basis. Forget about the rappers and the people in Hollywood that you see doing well, that are making movies about doing well, that are most of them being paid by Ndi Ichie, being paid by Indiro. When I say Indiro, I'm not saying enemy. What I'm saying is outsiders. When I'm saying Indiro, I'm saying outsiders. I'm not saying enemies. So some people will say that I'm calling white people enemies when I say Indiro. When I say Indiro, the only thing I mean is outsiders, people who are outside of your community, because IGWE is part of a collective of people who are in a particular community. Indiro is outside of the community. Onyi Beribe is somebody who is a single member who has left the community and is trying to do things on their own. There's different concepts that are used, and you have to understand my terminology. But those people are being paid by outsiders to promote something specific, promotes a part of what they are already doing that is not even favoring you. I saw a video today on people like Lil Nas X. That guy is promoting something specific. Like I've been saying that I'm not trying to complain about what he is choosing to do in his bedroom. Mana, you're selling a concept, and when you're taking a black man's skin and hair and having sex with Satan himself on a music video, giving lap dance to the devil in flesh, in a picture of Satan and all that kind of stuff, you're sending a specific message to people, all people who watch that thing, who know the symbol that is Satan and who know the symbol that is a black man. So I'm not trying to get political or anything like that in what I'm saying, but I'm saying that people are being paid to send particular messages about you. Those people, like white supremacy, doesn't even have to work hard. That thing is on autopilot. They don't have to work hard. White supremacy does not work hard anymore. It's on autopilot. You dream in white supremacy. That's the language you dream in now, because you have consumed everything that they have. You people don't even seek out your own anymore. You don't seek out your own. You don't seek out your own. What is from your own DNA, flesh, blood. You don't seek it out anymore. You don't even crave it anymore. White supremacy is on autopilot. They don't have to work hard. If you go out there looking for clues, you won't find them, because all roads lead to it. Instead, the only thing that will ever that can combat it is if you stop looking and just focus on Igbo. If you are Igbo, like, even if you're not Igbo, but like, and when I say focus on Igbo, I feel like you have to be able to focus on Igbo with a pure heart. With a pure heart until it produces results, until all rupata ihoma. That's the only way. I feel like you have to be Igbo to focus on Igbo with a pure heart. Otherwise, you're doing some kind of, self-sabotage type of thing. Eventually, you'll have cognitive dissonance. I will use all these IKE words because somebody understands them. So you start having cognitive dissonance. You do self-sabotage. You do you'll start doing the opposite of self-preservation, which is impossible for humans to do, which is why I feel like you must be an Igbo person focusing on Igbo in order for you to be like all these people who try to say, oh, let's use a white person to convince Ndi Igbo, or I don't have a problem with you that you're white, but I feel that for it to be blessed are the pure in heart, for that person to be pure in heart, they have to be somebody who is psychologically saying that I am going to plant myself in Igbo until I get it right. And me as an Igbo person sees results, that it must come from that seed. And that's the only way that eventually, so that if that person, by the time that person has done that time and time again, has focused on that, eventually it will produce. Eventually it will produce. But because that person is already interested in self-preservation, and the fact that you're Igbo, that means you're ultimately interested in Igbo preservation. So by the time you focus on that thing consistently on Igbo, on an Igbo related project, consistently for 10, 15, 20 years, even if you started off in the wrong place, eventually you will find the right road. Because you ultimately are interested in self-preservation, right? So eventually it will come back to, oh, this is actually the thing that will, like, you may have started in the wrong place. Eventually you will find the right road again if you focused on Igbo. But if you were looking outward, then you've entered into somebody's trap now. So that's your own business. So that's kind of the point that I'm trying to make about IGWE. There's too many people who are trying to create this false illusion of IGWE and using these concepts of our ancestors, maybe create some system or work with outsiders or do other different types of things. I don't know what people are doing these days. And then come back and say, oh, yes, I have the solution. I will work with Ndi Rugas. I will work with Ndi, Japan. I will work with these different people. And I will solve my people's problems by teaching. But first, they have to now learn SWOT analysis and cost-benefit analysis and this thing. And by the time I finish training them in all this English nonsense, they will be ready to work at this company that I want you to give me money to build in some Igbo village somewhere, so that I can come and corrupt the brains of those beautiful, pure Igbo-minded people with nonsense in the words of job training, in the name of job training. So that I can come and corrupt those beautiful, pure Igbo-minded people with nonsense in the name of job training. so that majority of them will not even be able to qualify for that job in the first place. And the few 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people who were able to qualify for that job, that I went and took somebody's billions of dollars to build in their village and pollute their village and corrupt the people of that village with my nonsense, those pure-minded people, that by the time that I have finished doing my rubbish in their midst, I will be rich. And I have now left pollution for people to clean up in the future. That's the IGWE that people are talking about now. That is the IGWE that people are using right now to destroy our communities, one community at a time. Not even one community, multiple communities at a time, because many people, armies of people are doing it now. All of them, after being educated and brainwashed with this way of thinking, armies of them are coming and destroying your community. None of them really thinking, oh, let me actually learn the Igbo way or teach the Igbo way. And when I say the Igbo way, I'm not specifically talking about Orano, but I'm specifically talking about the ideologies, the ways of life, the thought processes, the actual scientific, like, there are scientific ideas in Igbo. There are scientific ideas in Igbo. Why are we not using those ideas to communicate? When we talk about theoretical physics, quantum computing, why are we not talking about IGWE? Why are we not talking about Chi? Why are we not talking about these things? Why are we quoting Einstein and Newton? And you want to enter somebody's community and teach them, but you don't know what that community is already talking about that is similar to the thing that you're trying to teach. You want to enter somebody's community and teach them, and you don't want to know what they already are saying that is similar to what you are trying to teach to them. You don't know that you will start from within. You don't know you will start from there to build from within to bring them to the point where you're trying to go. You don't know? So that is actually, you know, the challenge that we're having today. People who are confused about what IGWE is. I've seen a lot of different Igbo communities and I've been a part of them. I've connected with so many different Igbo people. I've connected with so many different Igbo communities, maybe for a short period of time. And then, you know, I moved on, or I started, you know, different reasons. Now, the only reason that I will say that I kept leaving is because I didn't understand what was going on. And I didn't want to be pigeonholed into the position of being a fool in the midst of geniuses. That is why I left most Igbo communities that I was a part of. The only Igbo commitment that I currently have is with my business partner and my best friend, Ochatike. But all the other Igbo communities, I had to make myself distant from them because I did not want to be, I did not want to corrupt my brain in the name of, okay, I don't understand what is going on, and I'm becoming a problem when they have something going on that they understand. No way, huh? They understand themselves, and I'm the one that doesn't understand, and I'm coming here because I'm not a quiet person anyway. So that's the only thing that, I mean, I'm saying that specifically for a reason, because I don't know who's watching this video. I don't know who from some of those other groups that I entered into are watching these videos. But the fact of the matter is that the same virus that many of these groups preach about, that is going around, that they're preaching about, there's a virus that is corrupting our communities, that many of their members have the virus. Some of these leaders even have the virus. And the only thing that's going to get us back to this thing that Marco Bonaya posted about is there's something that Nonso Ejika of Ndozi Adnani once said. He said, Iweto bigi iwetani. He said, Iweto bigi iwetani. And that is the final solution. That is the final solution. That in itself is a proverb. If in the way that it's said it's a proverb. There's a way that he said it. That is the way that it's phrased. Iweto bigi iwetani. That is the final solution, and that is the only thing that is going to save us in this day and age, when the world around us is deceitful. When the world around us is full of devils, and I'm using devils and not a quinsu because that is the appropriate word. Oh, I just remembered I have a meeting right now, so I'm going to go to my meeting. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.